What's going on, guys? It's your boy Keelathan here, coming back at you with another video. And in today's video, we're going to be talking about a crazy story that happened a day or two ago about some crazy kid who was hitting people with a whip. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. The racist kid went out and started hitting people with whips. I must warn you, you better like and subscribe, otherwise this guy will pull up to your house and he will whip you into the next Sunday. But yeah, if I sound a little bit gross during this video and you keep hearing like sniffling, it's because I'm a little bit sick right now, so my voice sounds bad. But yeah. Without further ado, let's just jump into this video. Yeah. So, this happens, I guess, on the daily. You ever, meet that one guy who has to be, like, the most racist person you've ever met? Like, going around and calling people, names that you definitely shouldn't call a black person, or, going out and saying to go do stuff, S-word. I'm not gonna say that, because, YouTube doesn't like racial content, and, I'm gonna try and keep this as PG as possible. So, yeah. This was the type of guy to go out and call people racial slurs, animals, and all those sorts. He even said the N-word, like the hard R one, like out loud in public, multiple times, mind you. But that's besides the point. So, cut to St. Patrick's Day, and this guy says, "Alright, I'm gonna bring this paper whip," and I need to explain this paper whip to you. So, back in a history lesson, this guy said, "Hey, I'll give you guys the answers to this work if you make me a whip." So they agree to it because these kids don't want to do the work because they're not the best batch of kids, obviously, because I think it's self-explanatory. I don't think you should make the racist kid a whip just so that way you can get some easy homework answers. Not the best idea. But anyways, they make this whip for him, and he gets it confiscated within not even a day. Like, literally minutes after he gets it, it gets confiscated and reported to the office. He gets it back a couple days later, gets it confiscated again for hitting kids at recess and saying more racial slurs, as expected. And, cut to this week, and he makes a new whip because they didn't give him back his old one. They said they're gonna keep it. So he makes a new whip himself this time. And he pulls up to school on St. Patrick's Day, which, come on, this is just not the day to do it. This is the day about green, but I guess he understood that, so he made this relate to green. So, he pulls up and pulls out his whip, like this paper whip, not an actual one, obviously. And he says, "Alright, anyone who isn't wearing green is getting whipped." Yeah, not the nicest thing that you'd like to hear during a time like that. So he's got his priorities straight. See, in the morning, when it's raining or snowing or it's too cold to go outside in the morning in a middle school, you kind of just have to sit inside of the halls, and there's a certain group of kids who get pretty bored inside the halls, so they decide to goof around in the bathroom. So this group of kids actually included the racist kid. Somehow. I don't know how they let him in there, because most of that group is just a ton of black kids. Don't know why they let him in there. But anyways, that's besides the point. He walks up into, like, this little, it's like it's not, I wouldn't say a club, but like, just everyone act like you're on intense drugs, and, like, basically just a ton of, what's the word, like, There's no word to say without me being the racist kid here, you know what I mean? But I think you can infer what I mean to say. But this guy, he walks into the bathroom, and he says, all right, who's wearing green? And if you ain't wearing green, you getting whipped. And he pulls out his whip, and he kind of, like, preps it, if you know what I mean? Like he slaps it against the wall and says, all right, who's ready to get whipped? And these kids, obviously knew he had a whip for a while now. Like, this was, like, his second to third one. And they start running, because they don't want to get whipped by this kid, because, mind you, he is actually a pretty strong kid. And, yeah, okay, hold on. I'm losing my train of thought here. I've been talking for 5 minutes straight. He goes and starts following people into the stalls, like, ripping the doors, not, like, off, but, like, the hinges visibly shake when he opens those doors, and he just starts whipping them. And the next few things that he says are indescribably so horrible that I think my account could get a strike if I were to say them. But he says some stuff that you would say back during, say, before the Civil War of the USA. Yeah, he said some stuff like that while whipping these kids with his paper whip. Mind you, this is only black kids that he has whipped, no other kids. So and then he walks to the bathroom so that way he can't get in trouble, because obviously someone's going to say something about it, right? So he has the bright idea to take the whip out back into the hallways and starts chasing people back and forth across the hallways. Yeah. Not the best idea. Especially because around this time, people were going inside of their classrooms, so there was a ton of supervision teachers making sure that no one was skipping class. So when you're running around and chasing kids, black kids only, with a whip and saying, come here, you undescribable words that you would say before the Civil War, yeah, he was saying stuff like that to them while chasing them around and hitting them with this whip. And eventually, he decides to run back into the bathroom after, like, 4 minutes, and he says the exact same thing that he said when he came in there the first time. He says, all right, who's ready to get whipped? So he goes in again and starts whipping. Like, this time, he actually is easily able to whip them. And I was in the bathroom at that time, and I saw everything go down. I saw him the first time he came into the bathroom, because remember, he came in here, like, within the span of 4 minutes twice. So, the teachers see him go in a second time, and usually that means that this group of kids, which he is known to be in, is, horsing around in the bathroom. And, this has happened a few times before, where the teachers have just gotten so sick of these kids running around and jumping into the bathroom back and forth to, quote-unquote, not get in trouble and stuff like that. So the teacher sees it and sees the kid with a whip, and she's kind of confused, and she's like, hey, I'm hearing some screaming from the bathroom. This guy just walked in with a paper whip, and he said, and, like, he started yelling, like, who's ready to get whipped, and he's yelling some racial content. I need some people over here right now. And this guy, this absolute moron, by the way, if you're watching this video, you deserved everything that happened to you. Everything that happens after this point, he absolutely deserves. Alright, so, he runs in, starts whipping kids, and this guy, this absolute moron, like I said, gets the principal, a counselor, the vice principal, and some other fancy version of a principal all four at the door, and I'm walking out at this point. Like, I'm literally scared that I'm gonna get, like, a suspension or something, because they're gonna think that I'm part of this somehow. So, they see me walk out, obviously innocently scared, and they're like, hey, just don't go back into the bathroom. I wouldn't go in there for the next, like, few hours. We will take care of this, and you go to your class, because classes were about to start. And this was, like, 4 minutes before the classes had started. And later, like, 2 minutes later, we see this vice principal, the counselor, the principal, and someone else. I don't know who it was. It might have been a security guard, actually. And they're all four of them are, like, walking right behind this kid to make sure he can't do anything fishy or, like, run away and hide. All four of them are walking behind him, while escorting him to the office. And at this point, word breaks out like a wildfire. There are so many people talking about what this guy did that it's insane. Everybody's saying, like, oh my god, I hope this guy gets suspended or expelled. Because if you heard everything that happened, like, if you were at my school, you would say these things too. It's not the nicest thing to wish on someone misfortune and, you know, having an expulsion put on their permanent record. But he did deserve it. Like, if you're watching this once again, you absolutely deserve everything that happens to you about this incident. And a lot of people, start talking about it, and I end up somehow in the group of the gossip girls talking about what happened. And if you don't know what a gossip girl is, it's basically the type of girls who like to say everything that they hear and spit it out to all of their friends. Yeah, I got involved with that group somehow that day. And then we hear during math class, I don't know, none of us know if this was him, and if it was, Jesus, we hear, I'm so sick of this school, and we start hearing banging on the lockers, like, intense banging, like, I was surprised when I saw no dents on those lockers. Like, it literally sounded like someone punched a hole through the locker. Like, you know that, if you've ever seen a drywall punch through, that's what I was expecting those lockers to look like after I heard that screaming. Again, I don't know if that was him or if it was someone else, but, the things line up. Because it was about an hour after this happened. So, a little bit of backstory. I'm not going to go too much into depth about it, but I have gone suspended once, and they usually talk to you for about 2 hours about why you're getting suspended and what's going to happen and how many days you're going to get suspended. Mainly because the principal or one of those teachers does not really care about you getting suspended, so you'll literally sit there for an hour while they come into the room. So, they, finally, I say, I'd assume that at this point, they're, like, talking to him about it, and if this was him who was screaming, I assume once he heard that he was getting suspended / expelled, because it was Friday when this happened, and it's now, I think, Sunday or Saturday, depending on when I post this, that this is now happening. So, we have no idea if he got suspended or expelled. I think, personally, he should have gotten expelled for that, because I've done some stupid stuff, and the reason I got suspended is because I made a joke. It's a loose way to say it, but it is really what happened. I made a joke that someone didn't like, and they said, this joke wasn't funny, I thought it was harmful towards me. And they got me suspended for it. It wasn't even that harmful. Like, if you heard the joke, I'm not going to say it just in case YouTube thinks it's harmful too. And in case that kid watches it and then finds out about my YouTube channel, and then everything in my life gets ruined and my low self-esteem in school gets crushed once again. But yeah, I hear this screaming, and everyone's like, well, I think I'm actually the only one who heard it. Because I could hear it because the way the room was set up was my table was right next to the door where you could hear it from. Like, he was banging on the lockers right next to the entrance. And, so he, I assume if this was the guy who was screaming, runs back over, he gets sent back to the office, blah, 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 blah. And there's one of two things that can happen, because everybody knows that he did not come back. Like, he didn't come back to class, he didn't pick up any of his stuff. He was just gone. He went to the office, and he never came back for the rest of the day. So everyone said, either he got suspended or expelled. There's no in between there, right? Which obviously there isn't. And so, crap, I lost my train of thought. Okay, so the last bit of info that we get is some kid who was eavesdropping on it sees him in the office getting yelled at by the principal, a teacher, one of those people. He's getting yelled at by them. And that's the last that we hear of the incident. No one has heard anything since, and I will provide an update a few days later if I get one. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. If y'all enjoyed this video, hit the subscribe button, because, helps out a ton, and it's free. You can always change your mind later. And with that, I will see you guys later. Remember, subscribe if you liked the video and you think I'm cool, and maybe even like the video. But yeah, until next time, guys, peace.